I'm so delighted that my next guest has come into the studio. I've been wanting to have him here for quite some time, but we both felt it was only right when he had his brand new book. And oh my goodness me, what a book. Now, of course, since the beginning of the year, something that we've started on the show is Get Fit with Shay. I've had a moan, I've been complaining about this, and I felt this year I needed to do something about it. As much as I love being here in the afternoons with you on BBC Radio London, I found myself being sat quite a lot. So in recent weeks, we've talked about everything from doing Pilates right through to yoga, possibly even laughing yoga. But there is, of course, another key element, and that is really what we eat. Last year, the World Obesity Federation predicted that more than half the world's population is going to be classed as obese or overweight by 2035 if action is not taken. So clearly food is vitally important to us, not just being fit, but also healthy. So I wanted to delve more into this, and I'm really delighted to say that I'm joined in the studio with Dr. Andrew Jenkinson. He is a Sunday Times best-selling author to talk about his brand new book. It's called How to Eat and Still Lose Weight, a science-backed guide to nutrition and health. Dr. Jenkinson, so lovely to have you here.
Pleasure to be here, Shay.
I feel like everyone's ears are going to perk up because of the title of this book. How to Eat and Still Lose Weight. It's just music to my ears.
It should be, it should be.
The first question, and I know you address this in the book, but the first question that, because I was having a chat with the team about this, we get a lot of misinformation. So I wanted to start talking to you initially about calories. Mm-hmm. And this whole world of calories. I could go to one of the plethora of coffee shops that we have here in London on the way into work. Pretty much every coffee, tea will outline the amount of calories. So from what you drink to what you eat, a lot of people are counting calories. My question firstly is, should we be?
I think at this time of year, everyone seems to be wanting to lose that weight by counting calories. I was just talking to your assistant outside, actually. Yeah. She said, I'm on a diet. And I said, oh my gosh, the worst thing you can do is calorie restrict, because you're training your metabolism to become really efficient. So when you calorie restrict, you might lose weight for a week or two, but your body's metabolism will adapt to that calorie restriction, and your basal metabolism. It's a little bit like an internal dimmer switch. Right. You can either burn brightly and actually burn off extra calories, or you can put it on real dimmer, and that's what happens when you go on a diet. You lose a little bit of weight, and then next thing you know, you're on 1,000, 1,200 calories, the scales aren't shifting, you feel miserable, and your metabolism's just adapted to the diet. We're very adaptable. We have very adaptable metabolisms. So my book, the first book, Why We Eat Too Much, and then this one sort of expands on it and goes a little bit more into reward pathways and things, tries to emphasize what food does to your body rather than just getting, totally obsessed with calories. Yeah. So obviously food's got calories. We need calories to live. It's also got, nutrients, but also food does things to us like drugs do. Sure. So, for instance, if I said to you there was a drug that improved your metabolism, helped you lose weight, damped down inflammatory diseases, improved your quality of life and your self-esteem and made you live longer, that drug would be something you'd be really interested in.
I think a lot of people,
that drug is food.
You'd have queues out the door in your surgery.
But Shay, that drug is food. Yes. But the problem is, people don't understand the effect food has on our internal weight regulation, inflammation, things like that. Sure. And we sort of know that the door swings the other way as well as far as food is concerned. It can be quite toxic. If you eat a bad type of food, it's like a bad drug. So you develop obesity, diabetes, various different inflammatory diseases, allergies, increased risk of cancer, lots of bad things. Yes. So when you start to understand, what food does to your body as a drug and really understand, the mechanisms of it, you sort of then quite naturally don't want to eat certain things. It's not like there is no willpower anymore. You sort of get it. You understand it.
That was something I was struck by with your book and I'm glad you mentioned it there, is the fact that basically most diets will fail because you're reliant on willpower alone. And as you identify in the book, that's just not going to work. It might work for a month or a couple of months, but in terms of having the right lifestyle long term, it's just not sustainable, because we all have those moments. I am a self-confessed chocoholic. In the good times, in the bad times, in any time, I love to have my chocolate. But what was really interesting to me, and something that struck, which if I was to look at the fitness industry anyway, and because this segment is around getting fit, this whole year we've only talked to people about exercise, and what you actually talk about is why exercise is of secondary importance to finding energy balance. So can you unpack that for me? Because I had to read that a couple of times to basically understand what you mean.
I hear you've been doing the exercise sort of sections.
Yes.
And there is a chapter in the book called, what's it called?
I've got the book here in front of me.
About exercise, I think.
Yes.
And basically it looks...
On exercise.
On exercise, yes. Yeah. And basically, I noticed on a cycling expedition of Costa Rica, which I took with my two sort of older teenage daughters a few years ago, and we weren't very good cyclists, but the other guys, they brought all of their lycra and their pedals and everything. Yeah. They were really, really good, and we were like at the back of the crew, and it was like literally 20, 30 kilometers morning and evening. Yeah. But we were eating good food all the time. We weren't eating any junk. And I thought we'd all lose a bit of weight, but actually we all put a bit of weight on.
That's interesting.
And then, some of the fitter male cyclists were all carrying this sort of paunch, which they just couldn't get rid of. Right. And it's like, their bodies want them to carry that. That's their extra, fuel tank, because their bodies can understand that they're like cycling, large amounts, large mileages. So then I thought I'd look into energy regulation as far as exercise is concerned.
Yes.
If we do government guidelines and go to the gym, 3 times a week for 20 minutes and eat the same sort of stuff, we're going to lose 2 kilograms.
Right.
So not much at all.
No.
Okay. But if we're lucky enough to have, the time to go to the gym, and a lot of people do this, they go for an hour.
Yes.
For a hard workout, pretty much every day. And they're getting to the edge of what our body can adapt to. So basically, when we go to the gym, it's a little bit like when we go on a diet. That excess calorie that we've expended, the body can then just compensate for that by actually resting a little bit more efficiently.
Sure.
So that dimmer switch goes down,
right,
which is really annoying.
Yeah.
But actually, if you